started, a brief overview about the Older Adult Behavioral Health Initiative. So this was created by Oregon Health Authority back in 2015. It continues to be funded by Oregon Health Authority. And this was through their needs assessment results. And as you guys probably already know, the aging population in the United States, by 2034, the older adult population, 65 and older, will outnumber the population of 18 years and younger. So because of that, they saw that there's a need because of the lack of resources that we have, lack of programs, and lack of specialists, of geriatric specialists. And then there's also the lack of workforce to address the needs of older adults. So OHA funds 24 positions, and they're assigned to one or more of the 36 counties in Oregon. And I cover Coos and Curry counties and is contracted out at Coos Health and Wellness. And so the major duties of the Older Adult Behavioral Health Initiative Specialist is to collaborate and coordinate with anybody in the community, organizations, families, anyone that has an older adult in the family or is working and serving older adults. And also to develop workforce training and community wellness education, such as this one. And we also provide free complex case consultations. And so the Older Adult Behavioral Health Initiative really addresses the unique needs of older adults and people with disabilities with behavioral needs. Next slide, please. So one more click. So what clues does your body tell you when you are feeling well? This is where you say, oh, I keep doing what I'm doing. What was that? Yeah. So what do you do when you're feeling well? More, yeah, just keep going along, right? Keep chugging along. All right, so what clues does your body tell you when you're not feeling well? Pain, tired. Yeah. Oops. One more, please. Back up. Back it up, please. So what do you do when you're not feeling well? Nothing. Push through. Go to the doctor. Go to sleep. Take a rest, right? Okay. So just a little, did you know? So in Oregon, do you know where Coos County ranks as in regards to the percentage of older population? Yeah, so there's 36 counties, and the two counties that I cover are in the top 10. So Coos ranks ninth out of the 36 counties, and we are at 25.9%, and our population is about 64,000. And then Curry is ranked second out of 36 counties. And then number one is Wheeler. Yeah, and that is, Curry is at 34.3 and Wheeler is at 34.4. So depending on the migration to the coast, Curry might just be number one. Yeah, and then men 85 and older have the highest suicide rate in Oregon. Loneliness and social isolation may be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And 2 in 3 Americans 65 and older have multiple chronic conditions, placing them at higher risk or likelihood for increased limitations and functional disability. And 1 in 5 Americans 65 and older have one or more mental health or substance use conditions. So what is the 4M's framework? So the 4M's framework is part of the age-friendly health system. And it's basically what it is, the framework. So it's a guide for our providers to address the needs of older adults. And the reason why I'm presenting this to you, because we also provide this training to providers, both medical and mental health. And I thought, you know what, this is not a secret. This is something that you guys can know yourself, and you can start that conversation with your provider if they don't start the conversation with you. So this is a guide examining those 4 M's. So the first one is what matters. Know and align, this is for the providers, right? So they need to know and align care with each older adult's specific health outcome goals and care and preferences, including but not limited to end of life and across the settings of care. Because most of the time when we go to the doctor, we want them to address what's the matter with us, as opposed to what matters to us. So this is looking at it from a different approach. So what matters? That you receive the best care possible by telling your healthcare provider what matters to you. So what matters to you, like say, I have it on another uh, PowerPoint there, but think about what is most important to you in your life. Things you want your healthcare team to understand about you as an individual, not just somebody walking in with yet another problem. So one more click, please. So what matters to you the most? Is it health? Is it family and friends? Is it your independence? Aging in place? Other things to think about is planning ahead, advanced directives, financial planning, downsizing, goals of care, supports, your caregivers, you, how you want to, if you want to reduce your symptoms or disease progression, and improving your overall well being. That could be some examples. So, what matters? Take a moment and think about who you are and what you are facing right now, and what is the most important thing that comes to your mind. So, before I forget, I have a printout of this worksheet and this information in the front, that little table there. Feel free to take it. If you think you have friends that might want that information, grab a couple more and hand it to them. So, next slide, please. And then the second M is medication. So, doctor, providers, if medication is necessary, use age-friendly medication that does not interfere with what matters to the older adult, their mobility or their mentation across the settings of care. So sometimes you will get medications because, oh, you need pain medications, right? They just write the prescription and here you go. But I actually know of someone who does not want to take the medication. It's a narcotic, and she feels that it's going to put her at a higher risk for falls, and she's going to be groggy and she's going to be more confused. So, really having that conversation. Sometimes you just write the prescription to you, you can barely read their signature or their penmanship, and then you go to the pharmacy and you fill it just like, it's automated. You just get the prescription, we go to the pharmacy, we go home, and then we're like, do I want to take it? What are the side effects? I don't know. So next, so medication, understanding your medication and what they do is important. Our bodies change when we age, and then it can increase our chances of the side effects. So one way to help prevent complications from medicine is to understand why you are taking them and to address any other concerns about them with your healthcare provider. This is also in the same messaging that Stephanie is saying. It's like, if there's some things that you can do, just not just by medication, but also changing the way you eat. Like that example you have with that, just with the calcium. It's like, oh, you think you're doing it right, but still nothing's changing. So it's like, do I really? What's the effect of this medication? Is there something else that I can do that's non-pharmacological to improve my overall well-being? So polypharmacy. So the definition of that is more than five medications. And as we get older, sometimes they give you a medication and they give you another medication for the side effect of that one medication, right? So you have all these other things that's tied into one medication, and pretty soon you got a cup full in the morning. So optimal prescribing, only prescribing the medication that you need at the time you need it. And then there's a follow-up. Sometimes they give you 10 and then they say, here's your medication for your antibiotic, and that's less than you talk to your doctor about it. And deprescribing, reviewing those medications that you take. Sometimes we have a doctor for one organ, a doctor for one type of disease, and sometimes those all these multi care providers that you have do not talk to each other. And pretty soon you have that cup full of medications, and you don't know which one is counteracted to the other one. So always review and always aim to de-prescribe. If you can substitute it with just changing your lifestyle, changing your eating habits, changing the choices of foods that you take in, and also prolonged use and side effects. Sometimes, I've heard from older adults, I've been taking these medications for 20 years just fine. Is it still effective? And everything that comes to you comes into your mouth has to be processed somewhere. And so if you're, as we get older, we're not as, efficient in digesting these things. And do you really need a medication? Is there something else? Is there a non-pharmacological way for me to decrease or reduce the symptoms that I'm having? Of course, that I mentioned non-pharmacological. And then, sometimes that's out of our control, right? We have hereditary traits or race or gender. But the plus side, we have the lifestyle change. We change the type of foods that we eat. We can increase our exercise or start exercising, and also the social connection. Right? Because positivity, when you're talking to someone and you have friends, you're connecting with people, that also changes your internal mechanisms there and improves your overall well-being. And so there are medications. Are there any medications that you feel unsure about why you are taking them or how to take them? List your concerns and questions. Something to think about. Mentation. Prevent, identify, treat, and manage dementia, depression, and delirium across the settings of care. So it's all encompassing the mind, body, and spirit. So mind, thinking, memory, and mood matter. So how we look at things matters. The things that we eat also affects our mood. It affects our mind. So just like your body changes with age, so can your brain. And then on the next, click on that, please. So the signs and symptoms of depression, delirium, and dementia, including encephalopathy, is altered mental status. So sometimes when, I kid you not, when older adults go into their appointment with their primary care provider, and sometimes they're like, oh, my patient's kind of like confused right now. Where do people go with that? They go automatically to dementia. And I say, no, there's so many things that could go wrong because it could be some of those signs and symptoms from these three bullet points are all similar. Someone who has a urinary tract infection can, have a symptom. They're confused, they're agitated. Someone who's just simply dehydrated could exhibit the same types of symptoms as someone who is depressed or even constipated. But we don't talk about that. It's automatically they just kind of look at the older adult stereotype, forgetfulness stereotype, and then there you go. You have your prescription. Which is cognitive behavioral therapy. Engage in pleasant activities. The more you do, the more you feel better, which is opposite of depression. The less you do, the more worse you feel. Volunteer. Sometimes we feel like, oh, I need the help. When you actually help someone, you feel better. You have that euphoria. Oh, I helped somebody. I made someone happy today. Pretty soon that translates into your own internal happiness as well. And then increase social connections. So for the mind, list 2 things that you do to help you relax, stay calm, and be positive. How do you keep your mind active? So someone who's socially isolated, who's not talking to anyone, not engaging to anyone, that depression will soon sit in, will settle in, and then you lose your knowledge of the language. You just forget. You don't talk to anyone. So before, this is my own personal story. Before, when I'm lined up, ready to pay, and then there's some old person there talking to the cashier, and I'm like, goodness, just pay up and go, right? And then the pandemic happened, and it's like, wow, this might be the only conversation this person has for the entire week, for the entire month. So I'm like, you know what? This person is socially engaged with this cashier. Let them be. And the last one is mobility. So our providers should ensure that older adults move safely every day in order to maintain function and do what matters to them. So this also ties into that medication piece, right? You don't want to take medication that's going to make you groggy and put you at risk for falling. So mobility, stay as physically active as possible. Set a realistic mobility goal and something that will actively engage you to do something every day. This goal may start small, like I said, just walking to get your mail, even on a Sunday. Even if you didn't see the postman come drop the mail, just go and walk. And pretty soon you just extend that to half a block, to a full block, just something. So start small and then make those changes. Slowly build up your endurance. So fall prevention and screening. Look at your house. You know what they say about those rugs? Get rid of them. Look at the layout of your furniture. Are you like going through a maze? Coffee tables, you don't need them. When you look at these housekeeping magazines, they've got tables here. It's all filled with clutter. And as you get older, the way I look at it, they're just obstacles. They're fall risk obstacles for you. And some of the evidence-based programs such as Movement for Better Balance, Walk with Ease, Tai Chi for Arthritis, and Falls Prevention, those are good programs to attend just so that it keeps you moving. And then any movement is better than none, I say. So, dance to the restroom. We've done it before, right? When you're waiting for your chance to go to the restroom, you're dancing in place. So just kind of do that for 5 minutes as opposed to, 2 seconds. Exaggerated stretches. You're going to the kitchen. You're really like making those moves just so that you're stretching your muscle, anything. And don't let your recliner hold you back. It's like recliners are like not the best thing, especially if everything is within reach. You've got your chips, your remote, and your soda. So mobility, set an achievable daily mobility goal for yourself. So for today's challenge, look at like how are you going to improve your overall health outcome? You can complete the 4M's framework worksheet. Most of you already did your advanced care planning. Maybe time to look at it and update it, or even look up online conversation projects. Difficult conversations that you want to have with your family, with your friends. And then Powered by Connection. May was Older Americans Awareness Month, and that's the theme. Powered by Connection. Either you can advocate, you can volunteer, expand your social connections. Anything, like even go, I eat at the senior center. I mean, it's $6 for me, but it's free for you guys. You just sit there and just start yapping away. Get activated. Complete pleasant activities. Activities that you enjoy, even if it's just watching the waves or people watching. It gets you out of the house. Improve your mobility and physical activity. And then SMART action plan. So if you guys are not familiar with SMART, it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. So sometimes when we set goals, we say, ooh, I want to lose 20 pounds. Get on the treadmill for 3 minutes and get on the scale, and you're like, ugh, forget it, right? So your long-term goal is 20 pounds. What do you do on the first one to make it smart, make it specific? So Monday and Tuesdays, or Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm gonna go check my mail, right? It's measurable. You know what days you're gonna do it, and where you're gonna go, and then it's achievable because you've done it before, and then it's relevant because it's making you walk less. You're checking your mail, and it's time bound. You're telling yourself on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then you just increase that. So that's like an action plan that's achievable. Because the whole point of that action plan is we want you to be successful. And declutter, downsize. Look at your home and make it safe for you so you're not a fall risk. So that your home is not a fall risk. Create yourself an emergency kit. Phone numbers, medications, a flashlight, um, healthy food choices. You know, all that stuff from Stephanie, it's like easy to do. If you're a chips eater, like, wow, I can't give up chips completely. Instead of taking the bag with you with you on your recliner, put it in a bowl, measure it, look at the nutritional facts. It's like, oh, what's the serving on that one? What? It's only half a cup. Okay, I'll do half a cup. But at least you don't have the bag with you like if you did that before, right? So those subtle changes will lead to bigger changes, and then you'll see those improvements. And then also daily physical activity. So this is just an infographic that I thought, oh, this is something that's like appealing to the eyes, right? Choose healthy foods, rich in nutrition, connect with family and friends, make new friends. Go to your doctor regularly and have a conversation with them. What matters to you? Learn something new, take a class. There's always a lot of classes at the North Bend Public Library. And do some stretches. Like I said, exaggerated stretches. If you're going to walk to the restroom and that's the only thing that you can do, make it like slow motion, but you're kind of doing some resistance walking as well. That's an exercise. And this is the senior loneliness line, if you guys are not familiar with that. This is a free phone number, free program that you can call. I just thought to put that up there so that if you are or you know someone who's experiencing loneliness, that you can give this number or reach out to them and let them know, hey, you're not alone, there's help for you. And of course, our 988. Oftentimes, with older adults, they say, well, nobody's going to miss me anyway, I lived a good life. Every life is worth saving. And this is the circle of support. You can find this online if you just type out circle of support, Coos Bay. You can find it. It's also under the City of North Bend website under their resources. It has multi pages on it, but I just thought I'd put it up there for you to see that there are resources that you can find. This is your updated guide as well as the one that Doreen has out on the table. Right. And then ADRC. This is based at the Aging and People with Disabilities. They too can provide some resources for you, information about, hey, where can I get, the yoga classes, or where can I get some durable medical equipment for them. And this is 133 pages, unfortunately, but I thought this is a way for you guys to know, hey, what is going on in Oregon? What's available? Who are these organizations and agencies that are involved with the aging population? So this is the Oregon State Plan on Aging. It's a good read. It's long, but you'll see that all the things that's going on, and if you have a question or you feel like, oh, this is something that I really want to know more about, be an advocate. You'll find that information in there. And this is my information. Oh, look at that. I overstretched the blank. It looks like it's a thank you. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you.